I think, bro, I've never invested in something that got this quick of an ROI. That's what's actually confusing because think about it like this, right?
All right, what's up, guys? I am joined here with Sully, a client and good friend. Sully, how you doing today?
All good, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great, Sully. Sully, for starters, dude, where you calling from? I know you're usually from the UK, but you're not there right now. Where you at?
I'm calling from Colombia right now. So yeah, took a trip. Wanted to get out in the sun a little bit. So here we
Amazing,
are.
amazing. And you're still taking calls, right? Still making money.
Still taking calls, still making money. Yeah, still doing the same thing, just in a different location.
The beauty of high ticket sales, guys. But anyway, like I'm not here, guys, to market about high ticket sales. I just want to talk about Sully and his experience and how everything was. So Sully, at this point in time, real quick, right? Just for the headliner, like what's been like your average, monthly commissions or like your best, monthly commission thus far in your sales career since you got started?
Awesome, bro. So average, I'd say best month so far has been 11K.
Mm-hmm.
Average is pretty close to that.
Mm-hmm.
Still a long way to go. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guys in the group that are doing way better
Mm-hmm.
numbers, so I'm trying to
Yeah.
catch up to those guys. But yeah, it's been about three or so months now. So yeah, the trajectory
Okay.
is always going
Awesome.
upwards, and yeah, just trying to push on from there.
Awesome. Awesome, man. So I mean, let's just start with how everything basically started, right? Like let's just take a massive step back. So real quick, Sully, how old are you?
I'm 25.
25. Okay. So most people, and I was talking about it with Isaac and with Om as well. I was like, look, most guys are at 25. It's like, usually at that point, they're kind of just like, fuck this. I'm going to just continue with my 9 to 5. I don't really want to, make any big changes. But
Yeah.
with you, you still took the risk and you still took the leap of faith, right? So what was life like before you even got into sales? Like break everything down for me, man.
Yeah, life was like this. I was working a regular 9 to 5. It was kind of
Hmm.
in sales a little bit. Not really. I was doing like I was in an SDR role, but mostly what we were doing was sending like emails out.
Hmm.
So there wasn't really any real communication as far as like talking to anyone. But yeah, I think to answer your question, the first bit of being 25 and still wanting to take a risk. I've always wanted to take a risk. I didn't really care
Nice.
if it was going to take me till I was like 30 or whatever.
Nice.
The plan was never to stay in that traditional route.
Yep.
So as soon as an opportunity arose, I was going to take it. I've tried so many things as well. So
Let's
it
talk
wasn't
about that,
like
man.
the
Let's go. Let's
first.
go. Let's go into
Yeah.
detail. And like, I want to talk about these things because,
Mhm.
like, a lot of times when people they see successful people, I feel like they kind of dehumanize them a little bit. Like, this
Mhm.
guy's just way smarter than me. Oh, he got this help. Oh, he got lucky. And people don't really talk about failures, right? Like Alex
Yeah.
Ramosi, I was watching a video yesterday. He said that he failed 9 businesses, which is like insane. So I just want you to open up about like what those experiences look like. What were the failures? What were the small wins? Let's just
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah. So there was a few different things I've tried. I think I've tried most business models in this online
Mm,
ecosystem, whether it be agency, whether it be e-com, whatever it may be. And just from like hype YouTube videos that you see out there, you see a video, you want to try it out, you want to see if you can do it. I've invested a lot of money in courses.
hmm.
Literally every money I had at the time, I would just invest into a course to try and figure something out.
Hmm.
But one of the things with me is I never really got discouraged as far as like whether I was going to figure something out. I always had the mindset that something's eventually gonna click. Like it just has
Yeah.
to click. Like whether it's luck, whether it's hard work, like something's gonna click eventually.
Yeah.
And even though I tried those things, like for example, with agency, I was able to sign a few clients, um, and make some money with that. And then with other business models, I wasn't able to sign to make much money at all. Maybe like with ecom, making like a couple sales, but nothing like crazy.
Mm,
But really, sales and closing has been the first thing that's like clicked
amazing.
and clicked properly, and I've
Yeah.
actually seen like an upward trend with it. So
Awesome.
yeah, happy to be doing this now.
Amazing. And like, what made you get into closing specifically? Like, how did that even happen? Because obviously, when you're an agency,
Yeah.
you're taking sales calls here and there. I'm sure you probably heard
Mhm.
the term closers before. Like, what made
Yeah.
you even get into this industry? How did it happen?
Do you know what's funny? I really didn't know what closing was. And
Okay, interesting.
I never
Yeah.
even really considered it. Like obviously I understood like what a sales rep was, but from my understanding, I used to think like the sales rep was like end to end. Like you do all the like you'd reach out to leads,
All the grunt
you'd
work.
cold
Yeah.
call leads, you'd be doing appointments at end, you'd do all
Yeah.
that, and then like you'd get on sales calls.
Yeah.
And because in a lot of like corporate companies, that's kind of how it works.
Hmm.
There's a lot of companies in general, right? But I didn't know that there was a such thing as like just being a closer. You just take a closing call and that's it. And what's funny is like how I decided to do it was actually through a mutual friend of ours.
Yeah.
I met up with these guys in their office.
Yeah.
We were kind of like talking, had dinner and all of that. And then he kind of mentioned you and he was like, yo, why don't you get on a call with Hassan? I was
Yeah.
like, I know Hassan. He tried to close me on something before, right?
Yeah,
And I
we
was
had a
like, okay,
call, guys. Just for some context, I had a call with Sully way back when I was closing for Serge Guitari, right? It was an agency offer. I couldn't close Sully, guys. I couldn't close them back
I was a DQ, man. I didn't have any money.
then.
So, so yeah, no. So we had that conversation, and I was like, I'll give it a shot, right? Because I've been trying this agency thing for a while. I've been able to sign some clients, but it's never really clicked and taken
Mhm.
off to where I wanted to. And quite frankly, I didn't really enjoy it. The only reason I wanted to do it was because I wanted to make money.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna have the conversation with you. We got put in a group chat. We had the conversation. You closed the life out of me, and then a few days later, I was on an offer already. So
Yeah.
it was quite a quick transition.
Yeah. Dude, with you, it happened very fast. Like, because when I had the initial call with you, I was like, man, it is a shame if you're not making over 10K a month because you already had a great voice. You know, you have that British accent, which guys, if I look, there's many British accents, but you have like the posh London one, right? So it's like it's a hacker under.
Nice
You
one.
can, you can riz people on the phone right away, on Zoom. So
Mhm.
I was like, dude, with you, it's like it's gonna make so much sense. I just know you're gonna crush it, right? And you saw success pretty fast. Like, talk to me about that. Like when you initially got started in the offer, I know things are a little bit
Yeah,
jumpy in the beginning, but from there
yeah,
you actually got the hang of it pretty quickly.
yeah. I think it was ups and downs. So there were certain things that I got the hang of quickly, and other things that I really needed to improve on.
Hmm.
So when we talk about that specifically, it was like I think as far as like navigating a sales call, I learned how to do that quite well. But the
Hmm.
actual specifics when it comes to, you know, um, like being more efficient in my discovery, that kind of stuff was stuff that I needed to work on. So there was times where I have good days,
Yeah.
good weeks, and then there's times where I have like really bad weeks and bad days, just based on, okay, the pieces of the puzzle need to be put together.
Hmm.
The reason I'm mentioning this is because when people start, I don't want anyone to start and just get discouraged because they have like a bad day or a bad week or
Yeah.
whatever it may
Yeah.
be. The idea is like developing the skill over time so that
Yeah.
eventually you just become elite and then you can close
Exactly.
on any offer, like everything
Yeah.
works, if that makes sense. So,
I wanted your opinion on something, man. I was talking about this with Alex in the interview that I
yeah.
did with him as well. It's like with you, you initially learned agency sales, right? So you learned sales from people that like never really closed before and they're just giving sales
Yeah.
advice. And then I'm sure you saw some videos on YouTube. How does that compare to what you learned with us?
It's night and day, bro. Like it's night and day. There's no real like with agency sales and what people teach you, it's like it doesn't even make any sense. When you've come through this side and you see actually what
Yeah.
actually makes people buy. In those courses, it's almost like just a vague script that they give you. And then you kind
Yeah.
of have to go figure out. And then your discovery is all over the place. You're asking all the wrong questions. You're dealing with 15 objections at the end of the call. People need 10 weeks to think about it before they can sign up with you and whatnot. Whereas with this kind of approach and this method, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, what is it that's actually making people buy?
Mm-hmm.
What are the types of questions to ask? Why do we ask these types of questions?
Mm-hmm.
And how do we progress the sale forward without, being pushy or, like
Yeah,
a lot of
exactly.
agency sales is like, oh, here are the exact benefits of what we do, and this is why you
Yeah.
should buy from us. Whereas the type of closing or the type of sales we do is this idea of the prospect. We're kind of just guiding the prospect down the
Exactly.
path to where they
Exactly.
make the best decision for themselves, as opposed to
Exactly.
being, pushing them
Because
to make
it's
a
always
decision.
about the prospect. It's like if a person's on a call with you and they want to leave their 9 to 5, it's like that's mainly what they care about, right? But then if
Exactly.
you're the sales rep and you're like, oh, this program's gonna help you do this, it's gonna help you do this, they don't really give a shit, right? They care about themselves. As human beings,
Exactly.
we care about ourselves. But I mean, dude, the second thing I want to talk to you about is like, how did it initially feel when you first like found your success with sales? Because like one like big benefit as well is like it's all
Yeah.
profit, it's all take home
No,
cash.
no,
There's no overhead.
exactly. Exactly. It was actually quite a strange feeling. I was like, wow, like this actually it works. It's like it's real, right? Because I quit my job after like 2 weeks of
Yeah,
doing it.
dude. Which
Um,
like I still remember that moment
yeah,
where I was like, you're like, bro, like I'm so nervous, like I'm shaking as I'm doing this, and I was like,
yeah,
bro, you got this, and I was like, dude, I'm so fucking proud of you, like,
yeah,
like I don't know if I ever told you this privately, but dude, when that happened, like I remember I just like I took a look outside, and I was like, damn, like I've actually done something, like to me it was such a proud feeling that I was like, because bro, like when I help people that don't have jobs, live with their parents, right? It's like it still feels good that they're making money, but when I help people that like are a little bit older and they quit their job and now they have something else, I'm just like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool. Like to me, it just became real. I was like I'm actually doing something. So like for me, like that was a very
yeah.
proud moment. So I mean, bro, thank you for working hard and thank you for like doing that.
No, bro. It was almost like a finally moment. It was like, okay, something's clicked now, right? Because what happened was, I'll tell you the story. It's actually
Hmm.
very fortunate how all of this stuff happened.
Hmm.
So I had the conversation with my friend.
Hmm.
2 days later, I was on a call with you.
Yeah.
2 days after that, I was in hospital for a
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
right? I was like fairly ill. I came out, and then like a day after that, you called me and said, I've got an interview for you, right? And then I was like, oh, I'm
Bro,
not
I was
ready
on
for this.
vacation in Bath, bro, and I FaceTime you.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, here's how you're gonna pass the interview. Here's what you're gonna do. And like, I
yeah,
was like running late for like, dinner, and I was like, no, 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 I don't care, guys. This is important. Like, I gotta make
yeah.
sure that Sully crushes it.
I was like, there's no way I'm ready for this. And then the next day, take the interview, pass it, and then I'm on offer. I was like,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on? But
Yeah.
luckily for me, I was given 2 weeks off work by my doctor,
Mm.
right? So I had 2 weeks to just grind the offer out,
Yeah.
and not have to worry about work. And then, yeah, after 2 weeks of grinding the offer out, I just sent that email over, quitting immediately, no notice, no nothing like that. And I just carried on. And here we are
Insane.
in Colombia 3 months later, right? So
That's nuts, bro. That's
it's a
nuts.
crazy life.
I'm just curious, like, what was like the main difference between your last job and this one in the sense? And look, you don't have to like dive deep into like what you did, obviously. Probably a good idea not to see the company's name, but more so the
Yeah,
sense of like, did you have to commute to work? Did you have to like,
yeah.
like more like the day to day?
Yeah, so obviously first things first is the money, right? It's like
Yeah.
earning way more. But also, yeah, I used to have to wake up like, 6:30 in the morning and get ready, get on the tube in London. I know you've been to
Mm.
London. Did
Yeah.
you go on the
Yeah.
tube when
Yeah.
you came to
Yeah. I
London,
did. I did.
bro?
I did.
Like
Yeah.
imagine doing that at 7 a.m. when it's
Oh,
packed,
bro. Yeah.
everyone's
That's
sweating, it
brutal. That's
stinks.
brutal. Yeah.
Then I'm in the office. You gotta get there early, you gotta leave
Yeah.
late. Then you gotta walk home, then walk to the station in the cold,
Mhm.
London weather, get on the tube again after work where everyone's once again sweating, it smells in there, it's hot.
Yeah.
And then you come home, you're drained from the day, you go to
Yeah.
sleep, you wake up, you kind of do that cycle constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, then with closing, it's like, okay, yeah, it's hard work. Like don't expect
Mhm.
to come in and just like not do anything.
Yeah.
But you wake up, you do whatever you do in the morning, whether it's you work out, you have a
Yeah.
coffee, and you sit down, you take your calls, you try to be as efficient as possible, and then you can take them from anywhere, right?
Yeah.
I guess one of the beauties of this particular model is like, okay, not only obviously you're working hard and you're earning, but you can be in another country doing it. You don't
Yeah.
have to come into the office. You don't have to, wake up and put on a certain shirt and
Yeah.
and smart trousers and whatever and
Yeah.
go into work. You can kind of obviously wear what you want. Obviously, you want to be presentable,
Yeah.
but in the same time, it's like
Did you
you're not.
did you also wear
know,
like the nice shirt and then just like the pajamas underneath? Like the
oh, the
the
shorts.
sweatpants underneath,
Just
bro. That's what I always do, bro. It's always like something nice on the top and then
something
just like
nice at the
sweatpants at the
top,
bottom,
yeah.
bro. Even
Exactly.
right now, bro. Shit, guys, look. Even right now, guys, look. See, I got my gym
The
shorts,
shirt, yeah,
sweatpants.
bro.
Obviously, if I'm wearing a fit like this outside, I'll have a nice nice pair of trousers, nice pair of fitted jeans. But when
Yeah.
you're home and you're taking calls, you want to look good. It's like for the bottom, you can just wear the fuck you want.
As long as the top looks good, you're good.
As long as the top
Basically,
looks
that's
good,
what they see, right?
Exactly.
Exactly that.
Bro, like for me as well, like when I was closing, it was like the small benefits I noticed. Like I got a no-show and I was like, "Yeah, I can nap for 30 minutes super quick. Like just small things like that, right? Whereas like if you work at an office or if you work like, I don't know, fast food or somewhere, I mean, you can't really nap. Like what are you gonna do? Like your boss is gonna sit there and yell at you.
Exactly.
So
That is, bro. I didn't even think about that's one of the best benefits of this role. I think.
yeah, just
Like,
quick little
you
alarm
just
on your
had
phone,
like
quick nap. Yeah.
Yeah, you just had a very long call. Maybe you've closed it, maybe you haven't, and then you just take a quick nap before the next one. You
Yeah,
feel good.
exactly.
feel
Or you can take a
refreshed,
quick
ready to
break,
go.
I don't know, quick episode on
Go
YouTube,
for a
Netflix,
walk,
whatever you want, go for
to
a walk.
cafe.
Go take
Yeah.
go to a cafe, cup of coffee. Like small things like that make such a big difference. And so here's what I'm curious about, bro. Because again, I said this before too. It's like people in your situation that already had a 9 to 5 that was draining, especially because you're in the UK, right? It's like by the time you're back, your day's done. Like, where
Yeah.
did you find the motivation from to be like, you know what, like I'm gonna do this? Like, I know the answer because like, we're similar people, but because
Yeah.
there's some people out there that they victimize themselves and like, fuck, I'm tired. And it's like, I do see their perspective, but I want to see yours. That's like how you were able to overcome that.
I think for me, I have an interesting level of faith in terms of like, I don't really care how long something takes me. If it takes me longer than other people, if I'm older than other people or younger or whatever. If I believe in something or I believe that I can make something happen, I'm gonna do stuff that demonstrates that I have that faith. So what I mean by that is, for example, when I was working this job, I was basically saving all the money I was earning because I was like, eventually I'm going to find something that I can put this money towards, whether it be a mentorship or program or whatever it is, that's going to give me the outcome that I'm looking for. So literally, even like when I had the conversation with you, if I hadn't been saving for the past few months of me being in that role, I would not have had the money to be able to invest in things. And I think that's what people don't do. They will just live their life, they'll spend their money, blah, blah, blah. they'll kind of want something to happen. And then
Exactly.
when the opportunity arises, they're not prepared for it, whether
Yeah.
internally or financially, because these are
Yeah.
important things to take into consideration before you can actually make a
Exactly.
move. So I was always like, okay, let me get my mind in the right place
Yeah.
and work out and stuff. Like I exercise quite a lot as well. So get all of that in the right place, but also have like, fun so that you can actually
Yeah.
deploy when the time is right to
So
actually
I,
make a
I
move.
made like an interesting observation as you're telling me this. I think it's because you also had faith that like you're gonna one day figure it out, so you weren't buying dumb shit, right? But like when you see the
Yeah,
average person that makes an average salary, it's like, they'll buy the new iPhone or like the new MacBook that came out, and like they'll justify by being like, well, I want to be happy when I live a good life. But then if like they hop on a call to buy something, oh, I can't really afford it. But it's like you're just putting yourself in a position where you can't, and that's
yeah,
because deep down they don't even have the self belief that's gonna work out in the first
exactly.
place,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's the thing. They're cashing in early. They're cashing in on short-term wins as opposed to the longer-term stuff. I've always been like, I don't want to buy a car that I don't like.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to buy a car until I'm
Yeah,
making the kind of money that I
bro.
can buy the car I want.
Bro. I feel. I don't know if I ever told you the story about how I got into like nice watches. So I used to have like a Fossil watch, right? And guys, anyone that has a Fossil watch, there's nothing wrong with it. I had mine for years, okay? And then I remember like I got into Rolexes a ton, and again I was dirt poor, I had no money, but I was like, oh, it's a dream. And then one day I saw like a bunch of rich guys talking shit about fossils, right? Or I took my watch, I threw it across the room, and I was like, I will never wear a watch until I can afford a Rolex. And for like, 2.5, 3 years, I just did not wear a watch. And I love watches. I just didn't wear a watch. And then, I went ahead and I bought myself a Rolex, right? This is the second one that I have now. But I'm not saying you guys gotta go to those extremes, but I love what you said. It's like,
Yeah.
why get a shittier version of something and settle for less when you know what you deserve, and just wait until you can actually get it.
And it takes a level of faith as well, because some people can say like, what if it never happens, right? What if it
Yeah.
doesn't click and then you're just there like not living
Yeah.
life, quote unquote,
Yeah.
so to speak. But I was like,
Yeah.
I'd rather just not live life at all
Yeah.
and not. It's either
Yeah.
one or the other. It's either I'm just going to be a boring guy that doesn't live
Yeah.
any kind of life at all, or I'm going to live the life I want. So
Exactly.
that's how
And bro, what kind of car
that's
do you want, by the way? Like, let's just put it into existence. You're
Bro,
only 3 months
what's
in, bro. You're gonna make a shit ton of more money. What kind of car do you want?
what's interesting is people might find this weird, but I've always liked Jaguars. And my favorite car is an F Type. It's not even that expensive,
Yeah.
but I'd rather drive a Jaguar F Type than a Lamborghini. It's
Nice.
something about that car. Maybe it's because I
Yeah.
watched a ton of James Bond films growing up or
Yeah. It's a
whatever.
classy
But
car. Yeah.
for me, that's the car I want for sure.
Amazing. Amazing. We're gonna make it happen, bro. What's a goal? What's a goal? Like, what's like a goal that you have in mind of like when you want to get a car like that?
Maybe by my birthday in July. My
Amazing,
birthday in
bro.
July.
Put it into
I think
existence,
that's
bro. It's gonna
doable.
happen.
Yeah,
Amazing. Amazing.
absolutely, man.
I'll hold you to it, bro. But I mean, bro, like
For
with that
sure.
being said, like what are like the next couple of goals that you have in mind? Like what's happening now?
Uh,
You're closing, obviously.
yeah.
What does the future hold for Sully?
The next goals are I've got a few. So number one is to, be 2x, 3x what I'm doing now.
Hmm.
Um, and obviously that comes from leveling up my skill set. So
Hmm.
that means, showing up to coaching calls, improving that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I need to be way more consistent with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, the goal is number one is to improve my skill set as much as possible, as well as obviously improve my income. And
Mm.
then other than that, man, I don't really know necessarily what I want to do as far as like, because some people are, oh, I want to live in this apartment or I want to do this and that. I don't know whether I want to do that or whether I want
Hmm.
to travel around first and then see where I kind of want to live, right?
Hmm.
I end up in Canada, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
But the reason I say that is because, I've lived in the UK for all of my life, right?
Yeah. And the UK is
Apart from a
like
couple of years in
amazing. It's just
Nigeria.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice area, but sometimes when you've lived somewhere for your whole life, it's like you want to
Yeah.
kind of see other places and see if there's
Yeah.
somewhere else that you want to settle down. So the next goal for me is finding out where I want to be long term. Um, and then yeah, obviously that car as well by the end of the summer. Um, Whichever country I'm in or whichever
Yeah.
location I'm in, whether that's back in the UK or whether that's somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's the goal for me.
Bro, I like that, bro. It's a very refreshing answer. I feel like with a lot of younger guys, they're like 18, 19. It's like, apartment, this watch, I want to go here, I want to go there. It's like when you become a little bit older, it's like you realize like those things don't like matter as much. And it's more so just experiences. Like even with me, bro, like I want to travel way more this year. I just haven't traveled as much as I should. And it's like, a lot of you guys right now are, in Medellin, like you're there, Ohm's there, Alex is there, so I'm just like, I want to go there too. By the way, I heard you're tall as fuck, bro. So I did not know. So what are you,
Yeah.
6'4", by the way?
I was 6'4", man. Yeah, people,
Holy shit,
nobody
bro.
knows, and then they meet me and they're like,
That's
"Oh shit, you're actually very
crazy,
tall."
bro. Because like Ohm is like pretty tall, right? He's like what, I think like 6'1" or 6'2", and he goes
Yeah,
at me
that's
like,
6'1",
dude,
yeah.
Sully's a mutant. He's like 6'4", 6'5". I was like, damn. And he goes and he's like, bro, he's like chiseled too. He's like shredded. I was like, damn. Damn.
Yeah, man. I told you, man. I take care of myself, man. So
Yo, so all those jokes that I would make about, you raising up girls, man, like shit. Yo, what's happening in Colombia, bro? You tell me, man. What's happening? What's happening? You sure
bro,
you
we're
were?
closing, man. We're taking our calls every day. We're having a lot of fun at the same time as well. But we're
Amazing.
making sure to stay focused as well.
Amazing, man. So just to like wrap everything up, man, I like to just ask this question like to everyone, like what's like one message that you would have for younger Sully?
Mhm.
For the Sully that like was ambitious, he wanted to make
Yeah.
something work. Like what's something that you would tell him right now if you could?
I'll tell him to a couple of things. I'll tell him to persist, like just keep on going. Eventually, something is gonna click. Um, but also to yeah, number one, persist, but also to make sure to continue to invest in yourself.
Hmm.
Like, you're gonna
Yeah.
go through some programs that are a bit trash, but eventually something's gonna click right. And that's the price. I always say this is the price you have to pay for success.
Yeah.
Like maybe some people think, okay, I'll buy one course and then all of a sudden I'm
Yeah.
a millionaire. That's not how it works, man. You go through the trenches a bit till
Yeah.
you
Bro,
find,
with you, I
someone
remember
like
like
Hassan who can actually help you.
when we were on the call, bro. I also appreciate that. But I remember when we were on our call, like you were not like hesitant to invest, but I remember I just saw this look in your eye. We were like, "Fuck! I really hope this guy does not scam me." Right?
Yeah,
because it's like you've been through some shit programs. So just like end it off super quick, man. Like what did the experience look like? Because everything happened really fast.
yeah. I think, bro, I've never invested in something that got this quick of an ROI. That's what's actually confusing because think about it like this, right? If I was to invest in a certain business model, right?
Yeah.
Like in coaching for that certain business model, okay, 3 months in, now I would maybe, if I'm lucky, start seeing some sort of results,
Hmm.
right? Let's just use the agency model, for example. Maybe by now I'm starting to get some replies to my emails. Not
Yeah.
like 2 weeks in, you've already made,
Yeah.
X amount. You've
Yeah.
basically made your money back in 2 weeks. Because
Yeah.
that's what happened with me. I was like in 2 weeks, I was like, bro, I've made my investment back.
Yeah. It was fucking
Like,
crazy. Yeah. It was
let me
nuts.
pay
Yeah.
this guy the rest of the payment, bro. Like, what am I
Yeah.
doing?
Yeah.
So it was like, yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's been a whirlwind. I've made a lot of friends as well.
Yeah.
That's another thing that people don't take into consideration with this particular business model, so to speak.
Yeah.
You're gonna make a lot of connections, a lot of friends, and once you're in and you're doing well, there's so many opportunities out there to where if you are skilled, then you're always going to be able to succeed as well. So I think if you were to get into the online space, I don't think there's anything else you should do other than getting into closing to get
Amazing.
started with, in my opinion. But everyone's different.
I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Guys, I'll leave it at that. I hope that you guys enjoyed the interview. And with that being said, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Easy, guys. Peace out.